So a major war has just broken out between the United States and Iran. And what started as a regional conflict, well, it's escalating fast into a full-blown international crisis. Let's break down exactly what is happening.
We have only just begun to fight. Think about those words for a second. That's a direct quote from the U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. It's a really clear signal from the Pentagon that this massive military operation isn't just a one-off strike. No, this is the start of something much, much bigger.
And just this week, the war took a really dramatic and honestly unexpected turn. It spilled way beyond the Middle East, right into the open ocean. On March 4th, everything changed. This conflict officially went global. We're talking thousands of miles away from the Persian Gulf. The war's reach became chillingly clear, right there in the waters of the Indian Ocean.
And that number? 80 plus. That's the initial number of confirmed casualties. More than 80 sailors killed in a single, decisive strike. It just goes to show you the lethal reality of this widening war. And with almost 150 crew members reported missing at first, that number could still go up. So here's exactly what went down. A U.S. submarine targeted and completely destroyed an Iranian warship, the Iris Dina. Now get this, this wasn't in the usual hotspots like the Strait of Hormuz. This happened off the coast of Sri Lanka. It's the very first time American forces have attacked the Iranian military outside of the Middle East during this conflict.
So that really makes you wonder, right? Was this just some isolated incident, or is it a piece of a much, much larger puzzle? To understand that, we have to look at what's being said officially back in Washington.
To get the official U.S. side of the story, you gotta go straight to the Pentagon. Top defense officials just held a briefing to lay out their version of the war, and let me tell you, their tone was one of absolute, unwavering confidence.
I mean, listen to this language. Ineffective, decimated, destroyed. Secretary Hegseth did not mince words. He's painting a picture of total American military dominance and the complete and utter collapse of Iran's naval power.
So the Pentagon's narrative couldn't be clearer. Their big message? America is winning. They're claiming to have sunk over 20 Iranian naval vessels. They expect to have complete control of Iran's airspace in less than a week. And they've even said they killed the leader of a unit that was supposedly plotting to assassinate the president.
And it wasn't just the defense secretary saying this. The nation's top military officer, General Dan Kine, backed it all up. He said that Iran's naval presence has been effectively neutralized, which really hammers home the Pentagon's story of a swift, successful campaign at sea.
You see, the sinking of that warship, the Iris Dina, that wasn't some random incident. It's just one part of a huge, coordinated military campaign that has an official name, Operation Epic Fury.
I mean, just look at how fast everything happened in just the first week. It kicked off with almost 900 strikes from the US and Israel. A day later, we hear about the first American casualties. The day after that, Iran shuts down the super-strategic Strait of Hormuz. And then bam, the naval strike off Sri Lanka. It's been an incredibly rapid, intense escalation.
And, while all the headlines are screaming about military hardware and strategy, the reality on the ground for people, it's devastating. This war is just pouring fuel on existing humanitarian crises and creating unbelievable instability for civilians who are caught right in the middle of it all.
Okay, so you might be thinking, why does this matter to me, to the rest of the world? Well, because a war in the Middle East never stays in the Middle East, and we're already feeling the effects globally.
Just take a look at this. This chart shows the price of Brent crude oil. That's a huge benchmark for oil prices around the world. The second Iran announced it was closing the Strait of Hormuz, the price shot up by almost $10 a barrel in just a few days. That's an economic shockwave that hits everyone's wallet, from the gas pump to the grocery store.
Okay, but here's where it gets complicated. There's this huge debate raging over whether this war is even legal. The U.S. government is arguing that it's a necessary step to stop what they call imminent threats and to keep Iran from getting a nuke. On the other side, you have a lot of legal experts calling it patently illegal and a really dangerous example of military overreach.
So how on earth did we get here? To figure that out, we actually have to rewind the clock just a few weeks and see how the very last chance for peace completely fell apart.
Believe it or not, back in early February, it actually looked like there was a path to peace. There were these indirect talks going on, and people involved were calling it significant progress. But then, the whole tone just shifted. President Trump issued a hard deadline. Basically, make a deal in 10 to 15 days or else. While that was happening, the U.S. was building up a massive military force in the region. The deadline came and went, and the war began.
And that, unfortunately, brings us right back to today. Diplomacy is off the table. The
The war is spreading to new fronts, from the Persian Gulf all the way to the Indian Ocean. The human cost, the economic cost, it's all climbing. And it leaves every single one of us asking the most important question of all. What is the endgame here, and where does this possibly go next?